Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be ranking the Legacy of God series by Rena Kent. I just finished the whole series, so now I could rank the couples. God of Ruin. I love God of Ruin. I love everything about it. There was not one thing that I didn't love in this book. Actually, maybe I didn't love who kidnapped Mia's voice. I didn't love that Maya was the one who helped. Didn't love that. But other than that, I loved it. I loved the plot twist. I loved that you got to see a little bit of Caden and Gareth. And I absolutely love Landon and Mia. I love his nickname for her. I love Little Muse. I absolutely love that her thing is like Goth Barbie and it's so much fun. And I absolutely love Landon. I love him to death. He is amazing. Everything about his character is just perfect. Well, he's a psychopath, but he's a lovable psychopath. I mean, he's Remy, but got some spice, you know? He does think he's God's gift to the world, but I love him. He is everything I want in a main character. He is amazing. His character growth of learning empathy, and this book made me care about Landon and about Mia and Nico and all of them. I really do love Nico in this book as well. I love him being the protective big brother in this, since you usually see a more goofy side to Nico. My second favorite book in this series is most definitely God of Fury by Rena Kent. I absolutely love Nico and Bran. Nico is so goofy and such a golden retriever at heart, but he doesn't look like that, and I kind of love that that's the way Rena Kent made it, because he's unpredictable. He is violence, but the thing is he is so much more than that, and I love that you get a more complex side of him. And I absolutely love Brandon. I love his struggle and how he grew from it, and I love how Nico was able to be his unapologetic, crazy self, how Bran was able to realize that he could be who he is without having to be so in control. He could let go, and I really did love that, because that's what Bran needed. He is older. Bran is older. He is 23, and Nico is 19, if I'm not wrong. And I love how you get to see the Heathen's initiation ceremony in Bran's perspective, and I love that you got to see who that was on Nico's lap. The one in the, I don't remember, I think it was the bunny mask, if I'm not mistaken. Because in God of Malice, you saw that Glenn saw someone with a bunny mask sitting on Nico's lap, and I love how you got to see that was Bran, and how crazy Nico is. I absolutely love it, and I love how Bran was able to become himself in this book. But it was also funny and quirky, and it was entertaining to see Levi go crazy. My third favorite book is God of War by Rena Kent. I don't own the copy yet, but I will soon eventually, before the new covers come out. But I absolutely love God of War. It's probably a hot take, but a lot of people don't love God of War, which is insane to me, because I loved it. I will say it is not as funny and quirky as the other books. And you don't really get to see the mafia people as well, which I don't love, but it's not really what that book was about. It was more about the ending to everything. So it did have some of the mafia people, but they weren't really as important, which I didn't love. But it is no longer college romance at this point. It was them out of college. It was Ava fixing herself, and Eli. I absolutely loved Eli. A lot of people thought he was very controlling. I did think he was very controlling, but at certain points you realize he was doing that to protect her, how her family babying her, and how Eli had to be stricter with her because it would really hurt her if she didn't have some boundaries. So I really did like Eli, but at some points he was a tad bit controlling, maybe a little bit more than a tad bit, but he thought he was protecting her. And same thing with him not being there with her. You see him grow as well with eating her cooking. When his food was poisoned when he was little, he only ate his family's food, and now he was able to eat Eva's. I loved that, and I loved I don't remember, I think Henderson and the maid. I absolutely, like the house manager, I loved their friendship with Ava. It was absolutely hilarious, and how they were all not against Eli, but started to realize how Eli was in the wrong and he should be nicer to Ava. I did like that, and I loved how Ava was obsessed with the color pink and loved candy floss and like cotton candy. Like, I absolutely loved it. It was so adorable, and I loved the books that she read too. Like, so classic. And I love Sassy and Ava. I love you got to see more of that, because in God of Wrath you saw that, and I love how you got to see more of it, and it was perfect. And I absolutely adored Remy and Ariella. Like, they need to have a book. I absolutely love Remy and Ariella. And I also loved in God of Fury where they had Caden and Gareth. I really need them to have a book. I absolutely loved them, and I don't know, Remy and Ariella, different caliber. I absolutely loved Remy and Ariella. Like, I knew light on Remy, because I didn't really love him in the other books, but I absolutely loved him in God of War, because he's an adult, so he grew up, and he's still crazy, but he's like, he's better. I don't know, I feel like he's more mature, but still like Ronin in a kind of way. I loved the Slim Shady references. That was hilarious. I absolutely loved Landon being his Anarchy self. He was hilarious in God of War, and always messing with Eli and Nico. That was hilarious. I absolutely loved that they called Nico's Bran pet. That was so funny, because Bran would never see Nico like that. He would more consider him as his pet. And I love, like, they're equal. Like, they're, like, yeah, I love them. They're so cute, and I absolutely, really, I loved God of War. It was amazing. The only thing I didn't love was, I don't know, it's really hard to say anything bad about these books, because I don't really have any problems with them. But in God of War, because it is more, like, out of college, it's not as kiddie. Kids. They're not kids anymore. They grew up. They have jobs. They work at King and Steel Enterprises, and they are completely different. They are more mature. They're adults now. They have to live on their own. So you really did get to. It wasn't as, I wouldn't want to say funny, because it is still funny. It's still a funny book, but you don't get those funny scenes with, like, certain characters, because they're not there anymore. It's weird, because I guess because they're adults, so it's not as kid. I don't know, because they're in college, so they're not really kids, but you don't get those, like, moments like dancing in the rain. You get Eli taking Ava to her favorite, like, to a new restaurant. Like, it's different. You get more of an adult side of it, kind of way. The next book is God of Wrath by Rena Kent. I absolutely devoured this book. I loved it. I loved Ceci and Jer, and, like, I never read the Mafia's books, but I do know about them. So I do know Jer's story, and it's sad, because Jeremy really, like, I also love how he's stalker. Like, he's like the stalker character, and his dad was also such a stalker, so, like, father like son. But Cecily, I felt very bad for Cecily. She had a lot of issues with her body and her mental image, and because of the essay in the book, and, like, in her childhood. And I love how Jeremy taught her that everything about her is amazing and lovable, and she's not just the schoolgirl, like the girl who cares about her academics and that type of stuff. She also cares about reading and other things like that. She's not just that. She's bigger and can grow and not as tamed, which sounds weird, but at the same time it's very true, because in the beginning everyone called her Prude Cecily, but that just made her feel bad about herself. And then Jeremy, like, said, your head is an effed up place, Alishka. And it's true, because she just never told anyone what her things were, her little secrets. But I absolutely loved this. And I also love how in all of these books, they know they're not the heroes. And Jeremy is literally the perfect emphasis of that. He knows he's not the good guy, the guy who would give up his girl for her to be happy, because he knows he could make her happy. Even if he can't, he knows that he will protect her and be there for her when she needs it. And Jeremy is a biker guy, so of course you gotta love him. And I love how you really see her grow. Like, in the beginning, she was wearing t-shirts, like baggy t-shirts with jeans. And then she wears, like, a black skin-tight dress. Because she is now not ashamed of her body. She's very out there, and not even that. She's simple and classic and classy. She's very her. And everything about that is perfect, because she doesn't need to be anyone else. She is Cecily Knight, and everything about her is perfect. I love how you get to see her father. Her father was so funny. Like, I never read the RES series when I finished this book. So reading Xander's story after, comical at best, because Xander cannot be talking. He cannot be talking, like, about Jeremy, because he did much worse to Kim. He obviously cared about Kim, but Jeremy didn't do half this, like, bullying that Xander did to Kim. So I love them. The fifth book in this ranking would be God of Pain by Rena Kent. I absolutely loved God of Pain. I loved Creighton. The only reason why this book is so low is because at a certain point I did have to stop reading it. I don't know what it was. I wasn't bored. I just couldn't keep reading. So I had to take like a 2-day break, and then I like finished it right after. Like the 50% I finished in like a day. Like that night I finished it, and it was amazing. And the next day I started God of Wrath. But it was amazing, and I absolutely loved God of Pain. It was so good. I loved how he kidnapped her and Aiden helped. Like, he's the parent. You should not be helping his son kidnap his girlfriend. But it was funny to me. I don't know why I found it funny how Aiden is still like, Aiden's still Aiden. He's gonna do crazy things, even as an adult. But, I love the Grumpy Sunshine trope, and I so related to Annika. Everything about her I absolutely adore. I don't know, Annika's like, her character is amazing to me. I love her, and I love how she would do anything for her brother. Anything. Like the fire, she ran in to rescue him, and then Creighton ran in to save her. I absolutely adore how Creighton, I hated his story at the, like, his actual story, because it was really sad, and how Creighton went through all of that. But at least he had a happy house. Like, his family loved him, even if he's adopted. Of course they would, because they raised him. They love him as his son, and I really love how Aiden and Elsa were like that. And I absolutely loved the spider thing. I loved that, and I absolutely adored the way Creighton was with Eli. They loved it so much. It was so cute. It was such a big brother and little brother duo. Creighton is he's not outgoing. I love that he's the silent type, but he's like crazy, like crazy in his mind was also funny. Okay. I don't want to do this. But the sixth is God of Malice by Rena Kent. I don't know. Okay. Don't get me wrong, I love this book. But there's a but. I don't love Killian. I don't love Glenn. I don't know. I love Glenn's relationship with her grandfather. I absolutely love that relationship. That was like Jonathan relationship with her granddaughter is hilarious and is so adorable, because I don't know, it was cute to see like grandfather Jonathan. I loved that. But Killian, I mean, book I read of Rina Kent. And the first 3 chapters, I don't know, the first 3 chapters were a lot. The clip scene is something out of its own caliber. And I've read a lot of dark romance books with essay in it. Like, I've read The Cat and Mouse Duet and Where's Molly, but this was something. It was, I don't know, I guess, I don't know, it could not be as crazy as I'm remembering it to be, but I remember it being pretty crazy, and the fact that she didn't tell anybody about it, and then he started stalking her and kidnapping her, and they watched Fireflies together. I loved the little rabbit reference. That was adorable. I loved that. That was really cute. But, I don't know why. I just don't love Kill as much. I know most of these characters are diagnosed psychopaths. I mean, Landon, Eli, and Kill. But Kill, like, he doesn't care about anyone. I know they show that he does, like, he cares eventually about Gareth, and he does care about his parents at the end of the book. But then Glenn, he loves Glenn, but, like, I will never forget the scene where he literally he has a wall of pictures of people's misery because he wants to relive it. Or him killing a mouse when he was 10, giving it to his mom, and his mom starts crying, and he's like, oh no, I'll never do that again. She looks so ugly when she cries. Like, I know, he's a psycho, but it's not, like, I don't know, I guess Landon does it in a funny, like, I'm, like, God's gift to Earth kind of way. Kill does it like, I'm about to kill you, I'm a serial killer. Like, he becomes a doctor because he wants to see inside of people. I don't know, I love Kill. He is funny, don't get me wrong. I do love him. And I love him with his relationship with Mia and Nico and, like, all of them. Like, I really do love that. And I really love his relationship with Glenn. It makes her stronger. It makes him stronger and him care about people more. It makes him love his mom and not say those things. But at the same time, he did say those things. And I don't know, his character altogether is very, very complex. Because it really is, it is a dark romance. So it is going to be harder to love these types of characters, but I don't know. I did love him, and I did love Glenn, and I really did love this book. I love that you got to see a little bit of Ava and Eli, a bit of Nico and Bran, and a bit of Ceci and Jer. Like, you got to see a bunch of couples, like, starting out, and I loved that. But I mean, the bar thing, that was funny when they took the shots. Never have I ever fell in love. So that was my ranking of the Legacy of God books by Rina Kent. These are the books that I have. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you stuck around long enough to hear me yapping. Yeah, thank you for watching, and give me some book racks, anything you want me to rank next, or just leave a comment. Ring the bell notification to see more of my new videos and my rankings, or even a 24-hour challenges, because I might do a 24-hour readathon soon. Subscribe. Never hurts to subscribe. And like the video. Bye guys!